So, Hare Krishna. Now we are in second to last chapter of the book, Sri Harinama Cintamani. So we are continuing the discussion of Srila Haridas Thakur with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. This is under the Siddha Bakul tree. Now, so far, the past chapters, already Haridas Thakur has completed describing the 10 offenses, 10 namaparadhas. So in this chapter, we're now in chapter 14. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually, in this chapter, he declared Haridas Thakur the namacharya. So it's like directly in here in this chapter. He's saying that I have learned from Ramananda Rai, like all tattva about rasa. But as far as the nam, like you have explained everything. And I said, like the whole world, like the people in this Kali Yuga, by your teachings, now they will become auspicious, like that. He declared that you are the acharya of the of Harinam, the holy name. So, and he actually, Mahaprabhu said actually that anyone, he said, like, I become very pleased to anyone who listens to like what Haridas has like taught, And so then Mahaprabhu proceeded, he said that, so now you explain to me all the Seva-aparadhas. So then Haridas, he was telling that, it's like, oh, Seva-aparadha, that's for those who are the servants of the deities. They can explain this. It's like, I have taken shelter only of Nam. But then he said, but how can I like cross over your order? So like I will have to follow your order. So okay, as far as I can, then I'll explain. So therefore he started explaining that the scriptures, they tell actually, he said like numberless, like actually the Seva-aparadhas, there's like unlimited, because when you say aparad, anything that displeases or like it can cause displeasure from God in your services, that's Seva-aparadha. But the scriptures, like in many ways, they they give descriptions like that. So he said like there's various Seva-aparadhas, and like some they said like there's 30, some 50, like as mentioned. But he said, but actually, all in all, they can be categorized into 4. So one is aparadhas while you are taking care of the deities, like while doing your seva. Some aparadhas only refer to when the deity is established, like this. Then one is in relation to when you are gazing at the deity, when you're having darshan of the deities. So there are certain like activities that you're doing that can also be displeasing to the deity. So it's Seva-aparadha. And fourth one is like anything that's not related to that. It's like miscellaneous, like this. So Haridas started mentioning, and I think we just read it. And it's like a reminder for us. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, he also mentioned all these things. Because these things have to be, like those who are taking care of the deities, then they have to be careful of committing these aparadhas. So as Haridas said, these are only like applicable to those who are taking care of the deities, or like somehow related to like the service of the deities. But as far as namaparadha, then he said that's for all the Vaisnavas. So therefore, very like important, like avoiding namaparadha. Now, in Madhurya Kadambini, we know that there's a section there about aparadhas, and Vishnu Thakur, he was telling that actually Seva-aparadha is not a very serious aparadha, because easily Krishna he he forgives, like the shortcomings of his servants. So for some time, like, he may become displeased, but then later on he easily forgives. Especially when that servant like asks forgiveness. And especially like when he chant Harinam, then he completely forgive like that. But then, so like Vishnu Thakur, he said like, so Seva-aparadha, you cannot really consider like aparadha even. Like it's easily by Harinam they can go. But he's warning, but the moment you think like, no problem, I commit this aparadha because I just chant Harinam, then it becomes namaparadha. Like that. So this, we have to be very careful. So here, Seva-aparadhas, Haridas is saying, some scriptures they count 32 Seva-aparadhas. The others they count 50. So he's giving some like list. Okay, so there are 32 offenses. These are the 32 offenses in deity worship. Like, you enter in the temple of the deity riding a palanquin or a car. These are for like rich people. Well, or like for ordinary people, entering the temple with shoes, like that. Then second, one should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasures of Krishna. So which festivals? Like Ratha Yatra, Janmashtami, all this. So if these festivals come, you are taking care of the deities, When these festivals come and you don't follow these festivals, then it's not Seva-aparadha. So it's mentioned here, like, Ratha Yatra, Janmashtami. So Ratha Yatra, for example, that's a time when Krishna is supposed to go have, like, by his chariot going around the town giving darshan, and then you're not following that. You can do, but you don't. So it's Seva-aparadha. Janmashtami, his appearance day, you don't celebrate. That's really like, I don't know why someone will not do like that, So that's Seva-aparadha. One should not avoid bowing down before the deity, like this. So don't avoid bowing down before the deity. Now this is like practical. We have to have some common sense also. Because like let's say you're Pujari, all the time you're going to, not all the time, like, you have to bow down like that. Already you bow down, like. So then, one should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hands and feet, like this. So before entering, then necessary washing hands and feet. Now, what if there's no water? Then at least by mantra, like, and you're thinking like you're washed like this. But of course, we don't need to be lazy. There has to be some water somewhere. But just in case, then at least by mantra you can chant. There's a snan mantra, By mantra you can take bath even. Like that. One should not enter the temple in contaminated state. So contaminated state meaning, let's say you just ate, for example, some like your remnants, So then, that's why you have to wash like this. Or you came from like or you passed by like dirty place. Like here in India, it's very common. Like bathroom is everywhere. They're just like on the road, So if you pass by there, like clean. Or if you go to a crematorium, you pass by a crematorium like that. Or like ladies, for example, like that they have their period where they're contaminated, like that. So they should not go. One should not bow down on one hand. So it's an offense to bow down only one hand. And one should not circumambulate in front of Shri Krishna. That's why we do Tulsi Parikrama, we close the curtain. Like that. One should not spread his legs before the deity. One should sit One should not sit before the deity holding ankles, elbows, or knees with one's hands.
It's like this.
Yeah, like that, or like, like this, or like, embracing your knees, like that. These are considered like unethical. One should not lie down before the deity of Krishna. Yeah, you have to be careful. Sometimes when you're living in the temple, and it's just very common, Thakurji is there, so you would take this for granted, like that. So if deity is there, don't lie down. When curtain is closed, then you can lie down, but not directly in front of the Thakurji. One should not cry or howl before the deity, like this. Now this is different from like when Mahaprabhu crying or like this. Why is this Seva-aparadha? Because actually you're taking the attention of everyone else. Like when deity is open, everyone's attention should be on the deity. They're doing arti, and then you're going to start like crying there, like some people are like, like some sahajiya. This is very common in Bengal, or like this. And so you're catching everyone's attention. So it's actually considered Seva-aparadha. One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. And we understand, this is so bad. You're having kirtan in front of Thakurji, and then there's someone there with a stick and beating. It's like, how, One should not chastise anyone before the deity. One should not be charitable to beggars before the deity. Like even to give alms to beggars or anything in front of the deity. No. So if you want to give, then not in front of the deity. One should not wear a fur blanket before the deity. One should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deity. You cannot praise. But sometimes it's different with, like, okay, you have your Guru Dev. Actually, Krishna, he likes to listen to the glories of the devotees also. So, if you have to praise someone, then okay, you can praise Guru or like our Guru Varga. But like, okay, just like generally, like in front of Thakurji, we don't really do like that. Like talking aloud and glorifying someone like this, because really, when you're in front of the deity, he is the center. Krishna is the center. Even Mahaprabhu, he taught this. He taught this example in like Kliniam Gundicha. Someone drank his Charanamrita, then Mahaprabhu like, how you can do that in front of like Krishna like this? He became so angry. So that is praising. Now, one should not 22. One should not speak any ill names before the deity. Ill names meaning like giving like calling names, like criticizing before the deity. One should not pass air before the deity. And that's obviously like this etiquette. It's so funny. One time, like we had this. He was helping, like dressing Thakurji, like this. But he was old and sick. Sometimes he can't control like fart, like this. So he like accidentally farted. And I said, hey, like you cannot fart in front of Thakurji. And he said, like, I'm not in front, I'm at the back. Because he was at the back that time. But it's not necessarily just because you're in front, but when you're with Thakurji, we don't do these things like this. But that's like, again, like sometimes accidental, like that. So Krishna, he will forgive you, like this. But it's not like, no problem, Krishna will forgive me, I'll chant Harinam, like this. Then it becomes namaparadha. One should not fail to worship the deity according to one's means. Let's say you're very rich, and you can actually, you have the capability to have a feast for Krishna, especially on like his like
Big festival.
yeah, big festivals, or even you have the capacity to have a feast every day because you're so rich, like this. But you're only offering everyday khichdi to Thakurji, like yeah. You don't really see that Krishna is there, and really, if Krishna is there, we just think if Krishna is there, then you want to prepare like very nice, like like whole offering that he will really enjoy, and like so many varieties, and like according to the seasons, yeah, you buy like fruits and like whatever for Krishna's satisfaction. But no, it's like you just take it for like my duty. I just cook like this and offer like this. Then this is Seva-aparadha. This is kind of related. Next, number 26. One should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grains to Krishna according to the season. It's always to have like fresh and variety. One should not sit with his back toward the deity. This. One should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master.
Question: what if like Harikatha is going on, like really for like senior Vaishnavas just sitting there, and sometimes like so crowded and the curtain is open? Should we we see many people sometimes still like sitting with the back towards the
yeah,
or still have some
really you have to be very careful. It's Seva-aparadha like that. Seva-aparadha. Yeah. Because then there's a way to like sit. Okay, you may be sitting sideways, so at least not like directly the back, like towards the deity. Then, silently offering obeisances. So, one should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. So, if the spiritual master is there, then you offer some praise, and that's why we offer like, this. Like his obeisances, this prana mantra. That's already like offering praises to him. One should not deride the demigods before the deity. So Krishna also becomes displeased. Like you disrespect in front of him, you criticizing the demigods also. They're all his servants, no? Okay, so that's the last one. So these are the 32 offenses in worshipping the deity, as described in the Mahapuran. Now, in another scriptures, there's also other descriptions. So now he's also mentioning this. Because he says 32 and some 50. So these are the 50. So one should not touch the deity in a dark room. Like that. So these are only applicable to like pujaris, like who can go into the temple. And in case you sneak in the temple like this, you're not pujari, then you have to be aware of this. You can't just go there and like touching a deity like so dark, It's disturbing like for them. So one should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. So following nicely all the rules and worshipping the deity. That's why we have this book Archandipika. If you want, then you can read there. Following nicely, not like during Archan, then you're listening to your like techno music and like whatever. But it's true. Some people have been doing like that. One should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound, like this. So before entering, that's why outside the temple room, sometimes they put the bell. So you ring the bell before entering. If not, then at least you clap or you knock the door like this. This is etiquette. You try to acknowledge, like it's like your permission. Like, can I come in, or like this? One should not offer any foodstuffs to the deity which has been seen by the dogs or other animals, and that's why, like, if you're a pujari, or in a temple, they always have this arrangement that, like, when they're bringing the bhog, it's always covered, or they have special path so that like no one else can see. In Jagannath temple, they're very strict. If like a dog has come to the vicinity and has seen this bhog, it's not offered yet. then they throw them all away. Like, so it happened before. Like, they just, how do you call that? Like, dug the earth and dump all the hole there. Because it's Seva-aparadha to offer to Thakurji what has already been enjoyed by, because like animals, they have this enjoying mentality, you know. When they see, okay, in their mind they're already like enjoying like that. So like for the devotees, this is only for Krishna. Like you don't want like anyone else to enjoy, and that's why Seva-aparadha also, like before even you offer, or before even the thing is offered, you're already thinking like tomorrow is pizza, like that. You're already enjoying, you know, like this. Yeah, so we have to go via these things. So it's not just animals actually, like, and that's why it's covered, because even you pass by and some people there, then it's like, oh, now nice pakora, like that, and it's not offered yet. So this is so bad. He already enjoyed it, like this. One should not break silence while worshiping. Sometimes it's very quiet, and then you're breaking the silence. Like that. Not necessarily you, because you're quiet, you're pujari, and then here comes there and like making all this sound, and, making the silence. It's Seva-aparadha. One should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshipping, like this. Sometimes, so like really, it's Seva-aparadha. Like, oh, you leave your archan because you have to go to the bathroom. So like Krishna was waiting there, like what's happening, like that. So it's Seva-aparadha. That's why before you start your archan, then you go to the bathroom first, or like that. But really, practicality also, sometimes really it's emergency. Then okay, and then you have to ask forgiveness. One should not offer incense without offering some flour. So it's Seva-aparadha to have all your to prepare your arti, like that. No flour, but you're only offering incense. So they have to be there. Useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. One should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. Yes, like if pujari, then make sure you brush teeth and wash mouth. Take bath like this. Imagine you're like dressing Krishna, or like and you're very bad breath and like that. So like it's Seva-aparadha. Okay, then one should not enter the temple directly after engaging in sexual intercourse. Okay, so this is actually like in the previous group. There's like to enter the temple in contaminated state, like this. So like this, you engage in sexual intercourse. These are like, oh, you just like that is a contaminated state. So it said like should not enter the temple directly after, like this. One should not touch a woman during her menstrual period, like this. Because like you touch her also, then you're like contaminated. Then you go to Thakurji, okay, it's like entering contaminated state. So Seva-aparadha also. And that's why like ladies who are in their like period, then they should avoid going. Actually in India they're very like strict with this. Not now in this modern time, because now they're like so they don't know anymore all this etiquette. But during that time, and during the during their period, then the ladies, they don't go out their house even. They just stay in home. And they can chant whole day. They're chanting. Because like by chanting has no whether it's like clean or not, you can chant. But as far as like Thakurji, and these things are their consideration. One should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. So you came from a crematorium, like dead body touching, don't go to the temple. So that's why during like a cremation or whatever, then take bath in the Ganga, or then even with your clothes on, the other clothes also have to be washed, so like clean and then go. One should not enter a temple wearing garments of red or blue, or garments which are unwashed, like that. So these are the forbidden colors: blue or red, or any kind of color but unwashed, like dirty, like this. One should not enter a temple after seeing a dead body. So even seeing a dead body, yes. So you have to do some purification. So you can do this, like Snan mantra. If like, let's say you're on the way to the temple, you saw just like without like, sometimes things just happen so quickly. Some car just happened with a dead body, and you saw like, oh my God, like I saw a dead body like this. So the Navalis chant like chant the Snan mantra, chant Harinam. They said like, look at the sun and you're purified like this. One should not pass air within the temple. Okay, this is the same. One should not be angry within the temple. One should not enter the temple after visiting crematorium. They're kind of related with the others. One should not belch before the deity. What's belch? Belch like that, right? Belch. So this one also. One should not smoke marijuana or ganja. Yeah, for those who do this, like don't. They say Seva-aparadha. One should not take opium or similar intoxicants. Yeah, you have to be in front of Thakurji in that like fresh mind, and not in this intoxicated state. And that's why it's considered Seva-aparadha. One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. Like sometimes here in India, it's very common. People, they put like oil on their body and like that. So if you just like got some massage like oil, you don't go to Thakurji and touch the deities like that. So this is applicable for pujaris. If you're a pujari, yes. Now this is different when you're the pujari and you're giving massage to Krishna, like we do, like oil massage him like that. So that's. But if you're already he's already bathed, and then you come in with your oily hands and touching, it's so bad. One should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. Okay. This actually, disrespect to Shastra is one of the namaparadhas. One should not introduce any opposing scripture. One should not chew betel before the deity. Or the modern thing is this, like this, like betel or tobacco or this powder thing. They're very common in India. How do you call that? This it's very common. They just like spit everywhere. So like in Mathura, even in our temple in Mathura, you go the stairs. Sometimes it's so like some people, because anyone just welcome there, they just spitting on the stairs towards Thakurji. All these things. One should not offer a flower which is kept in an unclean pot. Okay, if you have flowers for offering or decorating Thakurji, then make sure it's kept on a clean pot. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. So that's why there has to be a carpet or some asan.
This is only for pujaris or like for everyone?
It's like for pujari, that means you're doing archan, But in front of Thakurji also, like doing kirtan or like that, then it's good to keep that. Actually, that means that you are keeping yourself clean, Like especially in India, like everything is like sand or like that. Then you have proper like asan. Because what happens if you're just sitting directly on the floor, especially like sand and dirty, and then you go and you're touching the pujari, or you go to the inside the temple, then you're bringing all the like sand and like that. So always like cleanliness, I guess. One should not touch the deity before one has completed taking bath. So that means don't touch the deity unless you're completely taken bath. Like this. One should not decorate his forehead with a 3-line tilak. Get this. One should not enter the temple without washing his hands and feet. It's like the same as before. One should not offer foodstuffs which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. Like, yeah, really, you don't offer anything that is not cooked by non-Vaishnava, non-devotee.
Festival days, like, so many times you see in Govardhan Puja, many people come, like, they offer.
Yeah, so that's why, like, generally that's Seva-aparadha. But sometimes Vaishnavas, they make, like, okay, because it's like, it's not, they're lacking in the capacity, so they invite like some, but they're actually like rich basis, they're like living in the dam like that. Like in our case, like in Navadvip or in Mathura, they're like our neighbors, and so then they're cooking. But still, the Vaishnavas, they made sure that okay, they're clean, everything is clean, and they themselves like make arrangement with Krishna. Like if you're a high class Vaishnava, like that has that capacity, then you do like that. That's between him and Krishna, and like this. But like generally on your own, like you just don't go like okay, yeah. But yeah, see, like also in this chapter, Haridas Thakur, or no, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his footnote, he said like if some things of the aparadhas like you cannot do, then at least like what is practical for you to follow, then you do like that. Let's say like you're a new devotee, you don't know how to cook or like that. Of course you can always just buy fruits and offer to Krishna. But sometimes you buy this biscuit or whatever. You have your takoji also there. Then like yeah, you can offer as like that. But really, if you want standard, and this is a standard, like any items cooked by non-Vaishnava, then you don't offer. One should not worship the deity before a non-devotee, and one should not engage himself in the worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. You understand? So, you don't worship, or you don't show this, like say Archan, this is a very like intimate thing between you and Krishna, like you're bathing him or you're offering arti, but you don't do these things in front of a non-devotee like that, because what generally happens, they just cause disturbance also, or they don't understand, they criticize or whatever like that. It depends. Sometimes you invite some people, like new people, but they're kind of favorable. They may not like a devotee yet, but you're kind of like cultivating them to become devotee. So like okay, you're bringing them. But yeah, like this. It says that one should not engage himself in the worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. Like this. So seeing a non-devotee could be directly or indirectly. They are worshiping the Lord, but then you're on the phone, talking, and like especially that is an non-devotee like that. It happens. I've seen some pujaris like that, always on the phone, and doing archan also, and like very soon also this pujari left like this, because you're doing all this seva-aparadha. The result is like you're going far away from Krishna. Like this. The deity should not be bathed in water which has been touched by the nails or fingers. like this. Because our nails or finger is like considered very dirty, no?
But for example, like when we do the shalagrams and we put them like in a bucket, and like actually the nails they will touch it, right? After like the oil. So.
Oh, you put them in the bucket.
Yeah, should be changed like that.
Oh, because
like
they're immersed,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, because like after you put oil, and then you put them all in the bucket.
Oh yeah, they're all like that.
Yeah.
But then after that, they're out and you wipe them,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, they're still being washed like that. It's different from like, okay, Thakurja, they're doing abhishek, but that water is like, it has touched your nails, you know? But like, yeah, it's up to us really. Like, he said like, the best judge for the Seva-aparadha is the devotee themselves. Like this. Yeah. Because like, really, if you have affection, then you will know, oh, this, you think like this. Sometimes Krishna, he will not even think it's an aparadha for him, like that. And we see like the story of like Sanatana Goswami, like that, by these rules, that Brijvasi, actually Mathura-vasi, the Chobi mother, she has this like, you know, like toothbrush, and she's using it to stir that khichdi she's cooking, like that. So it's like Seva-aparadha, but for Krishna it's not. Yeah, but we don't imitate these things, you know. So yeah. Okay, now we are in. Nails. Number 33. When a devotee is perspiring, he should not engage himself in worshipping the deity. And
Like during summertime.
yeah, so that's why like in summertime it's very hot. Then like try to like you know, make arrangement that you will not be sweating well, because like it's like, okay, you bathe Krishna, you bathe him, but then here you are like sweaty, and then you're dressing him and all your sweat touching him like that, you know. So you have to be careful. One should not take a vow in the name. One should not take a vow in the name of God, like this. It's the Seva-aparadha. You use the name of God like for your vow, like this. One should not cross or step over flowers offered to the deities. So you don't step or like cross over, like prasadam. So flowers or like any items actually of Krishna, like this. These are all offenses in deity worship. For a person engaged in worshipping the deity, they block his advancement in devotional service. So by doing these offenses, then your advancement or your that's the meaning of aparadha. Aparadha, the word radha there, aparadha. Radha means affection. So apa means to be far away, like this. So these are activities that make you become away from getting the affection towards Krishna, or getting Krishna's affection towards you, like this. Instead of Krishna becoming happy by doing this, he becomes like displeased, like you know, it disqualifies you from being considered like his servant of Krishna, like this. So a person who worships the deity should avoid these offenses. Avoiding the offenses to the holy name and offenses in worshipping the deity, a Vaisnava should taste the nectar of serving Lord Krsna, like this. So one is serving the deity and they're serving Krishna, right? But some, they don't serve the deities, but they're serving Krishna by chanting Nam, like this. So actually the chanting name is like universal. It's considered like Bhav Seva also. By mood, then you're serving. But that Bhav Seva, that is only attained, really, like when is that attained? When you're actually serving Krishna by mood. That's only attained when your chanting is completely offenseless. So that's why, like in previous chapter, you know, like I said that if you avoid all the namaparadha, then you reach the stage of bhav. Then at that time, like your chanting is with your chanting, then you have real like you direct contact with Krishna now, because now like there's no more this like there's aparadhas and anarthas. They're considered like the clouds that is blocking your vision to the sun, to the name. Now it's clear now. So actually you see Krishna directly in your chanting. And so that means you're seeing his name, his form, his qualities, and his pastimes. You're entering. And so then really you're able to serve. And that's like Bhav Seva, like that. So at that time, then you enter it, like you're tasting actually like nectar, like this. So this is what like we want, we're hoping to attain, like this. So,
but then what is the benefit really of serving Thakurji in that sense? Because it seems like there's like the chances like higher to commit like these offenses, even because you may be engaged for some time, and you always have to be like careful. It seems like there's like it would be like better, if you just concentrate on Inam and instead not serving that.
Like our 6 Goswamis, when Mahaprabhu ordered them to go to Vrindavan, he gives them this like 4 mission, right? Okay, you discover the pastime places of Krishna. Okay, that's one thing, because then you're able to tell people, oh, these pastimes like happen here and like this. Aside from that, you write books about Krishna, talking about his pastimes and how to relate with him. Okay. So, but then how to like make this very like concrete like relationship with Krishna, like this. So then one of the orders of Mahaprabhu is like, oh, you establish the deities, and you will see it's like they always include this, like even Narottam Das Thakur, when he went back to his place in Bangladesh. What is this place? What is that place in Bangladesh now? Where they had this Mahaprabhu's Kiturigram. Yeah, in Kiturigram. His Gurudev Lokanath Goswami. He has his deity also. And then later on he told Narottam, like, go, don't. That's his actually like on that pretext. Then he was able to accept this order of Jiva Goswami, to bring all these books to Bengal with Srinivas and Shamananda. But anyway, when he reached to Kiturigram, Lokanath Goswami he sent him a letter, a message, and this is actually a proof also that he was never rejected. Some people was like, oh, his Gurudev rejected him, like this. No, this is all like it's special arrangement, because his Gurudev want him to preach, So actually, Krishna himself gave that a hint. You should send, like that. So he came there disguised as a farmer, like thirsty for water, like that. Anyway, so when he was there in Kiturigram, he received this message, and the instruction is, now you have good preaching already. You have a community. So now, how to make this community like solid, and like engage in like properly? You have to install deities. So that's why in the Kiturigram festival, then they installed 5 deities of Krishna, Radha and Krishna, and then 1 deity of Mahaprabhu, like that. So the Murti of Krishna is actually like Mahaprabhu himself established Murti Gopinath, because in this way they manifest like to the disciples, like, oh, the form of Krishna, and giving them the opportunity to have that like sanskar of actually like, oh, how to serve, like that. And it's not like, because you cannot expect like someone to just like immediately like imagine, by imagination, like, okay, I'm gonna do like all this like Bhav Seva, okay, Manasa Seva, like this, like, like before that stage to come, then now this is like actually like Mahaprabhu is showing. That's why he's including this like Seva-aparadha and like this topic about like Murti, Because by this, then you're actually making this sanskar, like, like how to serve, and giving all these moods, like, so this is how the mantra is serving, like that. Because, you can, if you don't have the bhav, and you try to say manasi seva, you can just be imagining actually, and tendency is actually like, you're just lazy, you can't be lazy. A lot of people, they don't do because like, I'm lazy, I don't know, like. But if you have devotee, then you have an actual experience, like, okay, you wake up early in the morning, you bathe him, and then you dress, and then you cook, and like you offer, like that. Then after some time, like, that particular activity becomes like very, like, not just purifying, but later on, like, it's very fulfilling. Like, relationship is established. And especially if you have a community, this is one of the things that actually makes the community become very, like, one-pointed and strong, Like, you have an actual, like, center in your community. Or in a grihasta, like in this house. Like, the center is Thakurji, like that. So that's why in any community there's a temple. Okay. That's why also, like, if you look, you may stay in the ashram. But if you have no relationship with the deity, like, you stay in the ashram, but you don't join Mangal Arti, you don't join, like, the kirtan in temple, you don't join the pranada. So why stay like that? You don't, like, no relationship with Thakurji, like that. So Thakurji is supposed to be the center, like Krishna is there. So those in this way, then very easy the devotee, he is like taking all this, like, impressions, and then at that time it said when he reached bhav, especially he's free from seva-aparadha, namaparadha, then at that time he can give up this, like, deity, like, like all other angas. He can sit and the whole time he's entering the pastime and doing bhav seva. That time he can do. But before that, this is very helpful for us, like seva, like this. If not taking care directly of Thakurji, but serving Vaisnavas, helping the Vaisnavas take care of Thakurji, like this. Yeah. So that is this chapter. The next chapter is about Siddha Pranali, the process of perfection. Okay. So what happens after, with the reach stage above, like how this chanting will move us further to prem, like this. So this is a bit longer chapter, so it may take us a few classes. Okay? Question? No? Jai Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Harinama Cintamani ki jai, Shri Thakur ki jai, Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Go Premanande Haribo.